Welcome back to House Guest with me, Hailey Lowe Fennell. I'm a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. I am so excited. Today we do another reading for the College of Charleston Research Studies with Dr. Beth Sundstrom and Dr. Melinda Rothaus, and I had the privilege of speaking with Amy Colozza. You guys can follow her on Instagram at Amy Colozza, and she has links to some goodies and some products that she has been making. You'll find out about it at the end of this episode, but she helps women with body image and mental health. You guys are going to love her. I really loved giving you a reading, Amy. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for doing what you do. What a beautiful and wonderful purpose that you have chosen for yourself in this lifetime. You guys can follow, subscribe to the podcast, or you can follow me at Hailey Lowe Fennell on Instagram. And if you would like to leave a review, that's really appreciated, or send this episode to a friend who needs it. Thank you guys for joining me. I know that you guys are going to really love this one, and have a great day. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, Amy. I'm excited to give you a reading. Have you ever had a reading before?
I've had some tarot cards drawn,
Yeah.
but never an actual reading. Correction. With the tarot cards, there was like a palm reading, but not an actual reading.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I have had my tarot cards read too before, and my palm read, which palm reading, I don't know, has like this extra feeling to it. I kind of want to do that again. If anyone knows a palm reader, send them my way. I'm interested. But okay, so this, just truly like any other job, is a little bit different. I read cards for myself, but I don't tend to do tarot for people anymore. I used to at one point. But, and I'll just say this part, sometimes, again, do you ever read tarot for yourself, Amy?
I do.
Yeah, it's fun, right? It's like sometimes it's kind of like whatever it means to you.
Hmm.
Like if I was sitting with someone reading tarot for them, I'd be like, well, I'm just going to explain what this card means to me,
Right.
knowing that the information's for them. For me, psychic mediumship works at very much the same way, where I've kind of made a deal with the other side. I'm like, whatever's coming through my head is not in this moment going to be for me, but it's going to be for Amy, who I'm sitting with. And I know a bunch of psychic mediums do it some different ways, but what I'm going to do is close my eyes a lot. You'll see me looking down. It's because I'm kind of doodling and taking notes. I can take a picture of it and send it to you if you remind me via
Oh,
email.
yeah.
And you're welcome to take your own notes too. This is right now, it's kind of late-ish March. Yours might not air until May-ish.
Okay.
So just so you don't, if you want to take notes that you have something to look at before it airs, feel free
Gotcha.
to.
Okay.
We get ahead for summer quite a bit, my producer Lindsay and I, which is because I tend to take a lot of time off then. So
Smart woman.
this is also, and I'll let all the listeners know, this is going to be another reading for the College of Charleston, the research study that I am participating in with researchers Dr. Beth Sundstrom and Dr. Melinda Rothaus. I was just telling Amy this, I am not a researcher, just so everybody is well aware. I get the lucky role of just being a part of it. But you'll see me close my eyes a lot. I'll do a little breathing exercise to connect us in, and then we'll just kind of go with it. My intention is for anything and everything that needs to be seen, heard, or known for you to just come up today. It might be from your own soul, from your guides, or from loved ones on the other side, and I'll just be open. I'll also try to leave room if there's someone on the other side that you were like, gosh, I was really hoping to connect in with this person. It's not that they're not there. It's either that I just missed them and that's completely on me, or that they just weren't the person to come forward to say the information in the time that we have. But I'll try to leave time for them to come in if for whatever reason I don't get to them. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to close my eyes, and you can close your eyes too if you want, or you can leave them open. It works either way. It's just going to be for a little bit. And we're going to do a little breathing exercise and just start taking a few really good deep breaths. And just start to imagine that anybody and everybody you know who has passed away and is on the other side is coming closer. Imagine that they're starting to really share your space with you. And just as much as they're there with you, they're also here with me. And just take a few more deep breaths. Imagine that our souls are connected. and starting to communicate without having to talk. Imagine that our guides are there, knowing what needs to be said today. Then take a few more big, deep breaths. And just imagine all of your loved ones coming even closer. They're here to help guide you, protect you, give you clarity and direction. Imagine how proud they are of you. Then take a really big, deep breath. You might even start to feel them become one with you, or so close, or even if you're just simply aware of them, that's absolutely perfect. Then one more big deep breath. You can open your eyes. I'm going to open mine too. I'm just going to write something down. All right, you can leave your eyes open. I'm just going to close my eyes one more time. I'm just going to catch on to this thing that was coming in the very, very beginning. Okay, all right, I'm gonna start here. Amy, when I think of you, like it's a little bit more guides in general. Like when your guides come in and my guides start to talk with them, and they come kind of right towards the center of me, which is always a little bit more of like, hey, we're gonna start off with talking with Amy's guides. I get someone that comes in that says, Amy has been like cocooning herself. I could even say an egg, but it's like a reference to a cocoon, but it's a little bit like Amy's in this egg, cocooning herself, um, because she has a lot to do right now, is how they put it. And it's like a lot of nitty gritty isn't the right word, but it's a feeling of that. Like we are mending things and putting things together, but it's so incredibly minute and detailed that it has to take time. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Okay. And like she's very particular about it in the most beautiful, like you're meant to be, you're supposed to be, you know that. And the way that you're putting these pieces together with so much intention and so much attention to detail is the exact right thing to do. It's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But we are on the brink of coming out of our shell, like coming out of cocooning, coming out of shell. Does that make sense to you?
It does very much so.
Okay, good. They just say like job well done. Like your everything has been put in its right place, will be put in its right place these next few months.
Mhm.
Um then they just say 2 months, like so soon, it will all kind of be like come together and then we get to break out of it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, good. Um, they also then talk about you being quite a big voice in the room. Like we're meant to be like the voice though. Like you do it. They're like, there's at one point you would have held back or would have had trouble saying what you mean, but you do it now quite eloquently, and you're meant to be a voice in the room. Not a voice, like quite often the voice, to just make sure that that's distinct. And they also call you an authentic speaker, and that you are meant to like lead groups or be the speaker of the group. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Okay, good. The way they have me see it, it's like I could see multiple groups out in front of me. Like it's almost like 4 or 5 groups out in front of me. And then Amy's the lead of them and curating them and popping in and out of them. And it's very much like her orchestrating it. And um, they give me like a little bit of the visions of have you ever been to like a TED talk or like a
Mhm.
TEDx speaker thing? Like there she is on stage leading it, is how they put it. So similar feeling, like it doesn't have to be TEDx, it could just be the feeling of that.
Mhm.
But very much like if you're the leader of the thing, then you're the one on stage kind of curating it, doing it. Okay, lovely, good, good, good. And then they gave me this feeling when I was closing my eyes of there being, do you ever feel like, oh, hold on, I'm going to catch on to it because it feels quite important. Okay, I know I have to go slow with it because they're like, there's so much to it, is how they put it. They are referencing my mic out in front of me, which is very much just a podcast
Mhm.
mic
Yep.
that I use. It's a little bit like they want me to hold it in my hand if I were you. Like she is going to have a mic out in front of her. And I know that it kind of sort of references the TEDx thing I was talking about, but to me, this feels more like, fine, I'll say that. Um, not like in a devotional way, because I don't, it's not like like when I say that word, it brings me back to this sort of like religious reference
Right.
of my past. It's not that, but like in a way, we're talking with people and asking them to, what I do in my work a lot is I'm asking people to like trust more. Like
Yes.
if I were to say, oh, my devotion in life is to get people to trust themselves more, it's something similar. Like Amy's devotion in life would be holding this mic, and what she's doing is she's speaking to the masses and she's getting them to, along the same lines as what I do, trust themselves more. Maybe like a slightly different way than meaning behind it than I do it, but something kind of sort of similar. Does that make sense to you?
So when I tell you, yes,
Oh, I
yes.
can't wait.
Like,
Okay. Our listeners are gonna be excited too. Okay. And then they also say that you're a very good listener too, though. Like you often can hear people that are very, very far away. Like you have this ability to kind of be like, hey, everybody else be quiet, because there's this person in the back that has something to say. And that
yep.
could be more of a metaphor than how I literally mean it in this moment. But you're very good at picking up on the people that are often unheard and those unheard voices getting to be heard, and you're a part of the catalyst that is bringing that forward. And so your guides want to let you know that you're already doing a very good job of it, but that you're very good at hearing what most people can't
Okay.
and putting that in the forefront. And they just say, congratulations. Like there's no real advice around that. They just want to let you know that they see it, they hear you, they see you, they know you. They even tell me like, Hailey, you don't even have to give her advice around that. Like, and you might have questions around it in a little bit and we'll get to that, but they just want to let you know how proud they are of you for like being so incredibly detailed and then to get to where you are now. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you have any questions around that?
No, that actually that one makes sense too.
Okay, good, 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 good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes, and I do want to hear about, I'm doing a little note to myself about audience and speaking, because I do want to hear about it in a little bit. Okay. If I forget, remind me. Oh, lovely, good. Hmm? Okay, hold on. There's something else. They say that sometimes I get this little information and it's like a hold off, hold off, hold off, but it's going to trickle in a little bit. Okay, lovely, good. So I just had to write it down. Okay, lovely. I all of a sudden just had mom's dad come and sit with me. So your grandfather on the other side, that's mom's dad. Does
Yep.
that make sense to you?
Yep. Yep.
He comes and sits quite like right next to me. Not prim and proper is like a word that maybe we would reserve for women typically, but he's a little
Uh-huh.
bit like, here I am. Like he's very prim and proper. It feels very lovely to sit with
Hmm.
him. And he gets excited to be here with us. Okay, lovely, good, good, good. He also goes something like, this is unexpected. He means it more on his half. Like, it's unexpected that he would come forward for career stuff and work stuff for you. But he says that he's actually been many different things in previous lives, which we all have. But he
Hmm.
comes across as a very accomplished person. And he says, Amy too. So Amy has this drive about her. Not that she gets it from me, that's totally all on her own and her own thing, but she would understand that I had this drive about me too. And so when it comes to like pushing through to the next thing, that's me coming in, is what grandfather says. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, good. He just says he like loves you. He's really happy to be here. He all of a sudden even makes me feel more calm too. It's not a reminder to like rest or take a break, because he says he's like, well, look, Hailey, like right now isn't time to take a break for Amy.
Mhm.
Like we're in go mode,
Yep.
and we're shifting forward. He goes, that's why I'm here, but I can make that shift forward feel a little bit more good, calm, neutral is how he
Okay.
puts it. I say those words a lot in readings and on the podcast. People have heard me say that a lot. Good, calm, neutral just means that like truly connected in. And when we're connected into the thing that we want to do, even if it's taking a lot of hard work, we still tend to feel good, calm, neutral. And he's like, Amy feels that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good. He calls you quite accomplished so far. He says you also have accomplishments in other things, but then decided to switch roles. Does that make sense to you? He just says, good job. Like you were meant to be doing what you did up until that point, but you did a good job of switching when you needed to switch. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And she thought she was switching to something less serious, but it's actually quite serious. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And he says it's because you take it seriously, but it's a little bit of like as you should. It's like an honor to take it seriously for you, and that's a good thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, good, good, good. All right, lovely, good, good, good. Hold on, he's gonna come in a little bit closer. Do you understand, Amy? Are you currently taking care of other family members, quite possibly parents or
Yep.
something along that line where like we're having to switch roles into caretaker? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. He goes, I know and I understand. And I'm there to help, kind of, sort of. But then I think what he pulls in is um it could be his partner or another woman that's quite close with him to like come help with that might be a little bit better at that. Does that make sense to you?
It does a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. A little bit's perfect. She's not quite coming close yet because it's very much still him talking. He's like, it's
Yep.
still my turn. But he does want to know that he recognizes that. And he recognizes that he's helping in the ways that he can. Okay, lovely, good. Okay, fine. He also says, and it's such a funny turn of events, is how he puts it. Like we were going along this path and we kind of had these things laid out in front of us. And then there's a turn of events of us having to and by us, I do mean you, Amy, having to take care of parents. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So he's like, just go with the turn of it. And if you have questions around this, we can dive into it for sure. Cause he goes, she's already done it. So like she's already turned into it and like is in the flow of taking care of them, but like it's has put a halt on other things or has like turned things into a different direction than we thought it was going. And he goes, it's okay. Like as much as you can, even if it still feels like a struggle, just keep trying to go with the flow with it. You kind of know how to do that. You naturally do it. But give yourself a little bit more pat on the back, like a little bit more like, gosh, like I'm doing a really good job handling all of this, even when it's not a great time to have to handle it. But I am, and I'm doing it. A little bit because I have to, a little bit because I want to, but a lot because there's no other choice. Like, of course, my soul is going to help. You're just that kind of person. And
Yep.
so, because there's no other choice, be a little lighter on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any questions around? I think he brings up mom specifically, um, and like helping mom out. Does that make sense to you? Do you have any questions around that?
It does.
Okay.
That's a unique relationship.
Yeah.
I'm actually at this point, I'm actually helping both of my parents. So
Okay.
yes.
Um, let's see. I'm going to ask you a hard question and we can always take it off the podcast.
That's okay.
It doesn't make a difference to me. I just want to make sure that you get what you need out of it. Is there something around mom and it's almost like sometimes feeling like we have to go around her wishes to take care of her? Does that make sense? I'm glad you're laughing, not mad at me.
Oh, it so we I'll tell you a story later where
Okay.
essentially um someone my husband got told, so your wife and her mom cut from the same cloth, huh?
Oh no.
So yes, that makes yes, she is not her own best advocate, and as a result, advocating for her can be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. It's just like a feeling. Like it's all of a sudden I just given this feeling of like what it would be like to take care of mom. And your grandfather gives it to me and he just wants you to know and lovely good and her mom. Her mom on the other side just pops in and says, me too. Like, look, I'm there helping to like soften the edges where I can.
Mhm.
And just wanting to let you know that you have support on the other side. And next time you have to go make decisions, and this can be with mom or dad, because they'll help you out with either. But next time you have to go make decisions or go kind of like push your way onto the situation, ask them to come a little closer
Okay.
and just notice that it's at least a little bit easier.
Yep.
And when we notice it a little bit, we get the return of that tenfold the next time and the next time and the next time.
Excellent.
So they're coming along, is how they put it. Do you have any questions for either grandmother or grandfather on mom's side?
No, I'm
Okay.
just what you described is so, yeah, it's right on par.
Yeah. They love you. They love you. They love you. And they're really, really excited for you going forward. Lovely good. Lovely good. Lovely good. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm gonna say this one last thing. They do see that you've fine, that you have placed or or someone has been placed as like an extra helper for parents or at least for mom. Like
Okay.
someone else, like it feels like a nurse or something like that is like coming in or is about to be placed, or if it's already happened, then that's
Okay.
great and wonderful too. But that like actual physical help is coming as well. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then this is going to sound a little bit different. I can understand some of dad's side of family there too.
Mhm.
Like, and they want to come in, they kind of point to this. I think they're like a lot of what we would say could be what you've already said, Haley, but please just like let her know that we're here. But there's somebody else that kind of like layers in there for me. To me, this might actually be more like husbands. I think parent that's on the
Okay.
other side. Does that make sense to you? So an in-law that has passed away.
Um, so not, um, I'm on husband number 3. If at first you don't succeed,
Okay.
upgrade.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There you go.
however,
Best advice we've heard on the podcast so far.
that's right. However, he has a family member that he was very close with that I
Mm.
haven't met.
Okay.
So that would probably be where that's coming through.
Okay. So, husband that you're married to right now, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Because it feels like someone that close.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and ask you, who is that person to you? That's like, there's this person, I'll say how they're saying it. There's like, I have to come in for husband. Not for him, it's for you because the reading's for you, but it's like
Mhm.
I'm on husband's side, so I'm coming in and I'm really, really close. I'm maybe mistaking them as parent, which is okay, but who
No,
would that be?
I think it's grandpa because this is grandpa that
Grandpa.
left specific land to my husband and different things like that. Yeah. So
Okay.
it would be dad's dad.
Dad's dad. And you understand like the sweetness, the
Yeah.
closeness with him, and
Yep.
almost like sometimes it's like when grandparents come in like a parent, like they kind of trick me like
Mhm.
that. It's usually on purpose because what they're trying to say, and I'm just kind of saying this because there's some people connecting in for themselves through the podcast, but sometimes we'll get someone on the other side that is that close that it's almost like I could be like, okay, so grandfather was parent like. I
Yes.
mean,
Yep.
he's that close to the
Yep.
family, which I didn't have grandparents like that. um, and I'm saying that out loud, but that's why when I get a grandparent that is like that, they almost come more like a parent because it
Right.
feels good.
Absolutely.
And
Because of
he
that
goes,
connection.
it feels good to connect. And I'm assuming it's a yes, but are you okay if I connect him with him even closer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, lovely, good. There we go. He's coming in. Mm. He just goes, he's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. He very much means to you, Amy, even though you never met him. Appreciates everything that you do. Fine. Everything that you do for husband. Not that you're the one that keeps him straight, but because you met him at a time where things were starting to really work out. Does that
Mhm.
make sense to you? Like
Yep.
he did it for himself, right? So he got his life into like a really good rhythm and then you got to meet him. Does that make
Yep.
sense to you?
Yep.
And not that you're the one keeping him that way. By all means, he feels like a very independent, like he's keeping it that way for himself, but that you also inspire him. Like you are a part of the reason that he keeps going with how strong he's become. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yep.
It feels really good. To me, that feels like a very deep soul connection. We can have soul connections with like many, many, many people in many different ways. They can be partners, friends, family, but he
Mhm.
does reference a soul connection between the two of you. And like, look at how much the both of you went through in order to get to one another. Such a
Yes.
beautiful thing. Has he had other marriages as well?
Yes. He had a
Um,
previous marriage.
Say it again.
He had a previous marriage.
Okay. So I think that's the two coming in there for him and then three for
Yes.
you.
So,
Perfect. And
yep.
then lovely. He just says perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Five, if I'm fine, I'll say that out loud. He says that number five is really important between the two of you. You could, Amy, think about 5 is like a spiritual number, and whatever 5 means to you. Like if you were to go through the numbers, like 1 means this to me, 2 means this to me, whatever, whatever, whatever. 5 for me means change, but in like the best way possible. It's one of my favorite numbers.
Mhm.
I don't often get numbers in readings, though maybe it will happen now because I actually feel like it came up the other day and maybe it was one on the podcast. But love a good grandfather-in-law brings up the number 5 for you guys, is so we are on the precipice of some really good big changes that you've both been asking for, that you're both doing together. He goes career change for Amy, like, or career like amplify sort of for Amy,
Okay.
and then career change, I think, for husband. Like,
That would be excellent.
good, good, perfect. It's like we're getting out of this and into this. Okay. And then this could go either way, and I'm just going to go with it. There's a slight reference in there for something with like construction or handwork, like, and it could be the thing that he wants to get into. Does that make
Mhm.
sense to you?
Yep.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's a thing that he wants to get out of, that's fine too. It could
Mhm.
be either way, but I'm glad that it's the thing that he wants to get into because all of a sudden it's like I can feel his hands, and like the more calloused they get, the happier he'll be.
Yes.
Um, so just kind of like the more we lean into that, the more it just is. Like it's just,
Mhm.
and what by is, it's like all of a sudden I just felt his soul just like feeling so good. It's hard sometimes to let ourselves, and you know this, you've had experience with this, Amy, before. That's what your grandfather-in-law says. It is hard to let ourselves get into the thing that feels risky or feels like, what are other people going to think? Or I have no experience in this thing, or why is my soul calling me into this direction when I have no business doing it? But the answer is we all have business doing the thing that our soul is calling us to do. Like, it's just doing it, right? It's like trusting it as we go. And so, whatever that calling is for him, and even if it's not completely clear right now, you very much are his inspiration because you've had clarity around the thing that you want to do. So, him getting to watch you do those things is going to give him the ability to give himself the permission to do it for himself. Um, so, by all means, you just keep going and he will too. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's like, okay, I guess it's this thing, the answer always is to go with the next most interesting thing to you. We can get caught up in other people's interests. And, oh, fine, I'll say it that way. We can get caught up in other people's interests and go that way, and then pretty quickly see that it's not for us. We can also get caught up in other people's interests and then feel completely inspired by them. And so not to be like so afraid to be inspired by other people. Sometimes that's our soul being like, hey, look at this person over here. It's not that you're jealous. It's not that you wish you had what they had. It's that there's something about them that is inspiring you so that you at least get a few steps further so that then you can have more clarity around the direction that then you want to take, which will be different from theirs because we're all different people. But sometimes we see people and it's like, gosh, I wish I was doing what he, she, they were doing. That only exists in our soul because there's something about it that we're meant to explore. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yep.
So not to be like, so, and it's a little bit for him, but this reading by all means is just for you. You can pass it on to him if it feels good and comfortable. But
Mhm.
sometimes we're meant to even feel like we get confused between like inspiration and jealousy sometimes. Sometimes we're meant to feel like a little jealous of someone, but it's only to be like, oh, like it's actually because there's like something that they have that I think I'm interested in. And I'm going to be a little bit lighter on myself with calling that jealousy. And instead, I'm going to start calling it inspired. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But your grandfather-in-law feels really, really proud of him. And he does tell him, like, congratulations for staying on the straight and narrow. Does that make sense to you? Like,
Very much so.
is he, and we can take this off the podcast too if you want, but was he once in AA or a part of like a Alcoholics Anonymous or an addiction sort of thing?
So his ex-wife believed that he had a problem,
Okay.
but he, it's an unfounded allegation.
Yeah.
She actually said some Like, she just thought that he had some problems with pornography and things like that, and
Okay.
he's like, "It's not the case because our relationship sucks."
Yeah, yeah, there you go. You're like, "There's something else
Yeah,
underneath here."
there's yeah,
Yeah, perfect, and they're just trying to get me to say the thing so that we can bring up the thing, right? Like,
yeah,
sometimes, yeah, other people's opinions of us can be not fair, but then the catalyst to the thing that makes us have, like, kind of a heart awakening of, "This
yeah,
isn't right for me."
and
Like,
that's what ended up happening is
yeah.
that slowly led to the, "Okay, hey, look, this is not where I wanna live the whole rest of my life. I don't wanna be in this situation where that's how we're communicating and things like that."
Yeah, perfect. But great, not great grandfather. I like that though. In-law, grandfather in-law just says like, but there is fine. There we go. But there is some sort of like a message in there of like, but congratulations for staying on the straight and narrow. That could even be like, congratulations for staying true to yourself,
Right.
right? Like you say true to yourself, and now you've gotten yourself to this point where things have gotten exponentially better.
Yeah.
So quite beautiful. Do you have any questions around any of that? I know that was kind of a lot to go through.
No, it's good. It resonates back a lot with who he is and the way he
Yeah.
views life, and it helps me too because when he frustrates me, I can be like, "No, this is a part of who he
Yeah.
is and how he journeys."
Do you have any other questions for me before I'm going to jump back and ask you some questions, I think.
Um, I don't think so. There's just so much. It, prior to the reading, I had actually been standing in my kitchen and was like,
Mm.
"Okay, if I'm supposed to do this, like, you've got an opportunity, whoever, whatever, in a little while, show up." So it's
Yeah.
entertaining some of it. It's confirmation that
I love it.
somebody listened and said, "Okay, fine. We'll do what you said."
Ooh, I love that. Wait, I really like that idea of like right before getting a reading, being like, here are a few things that I'd like you to touch on. So bring it up.
Bring it.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. That's such a good intention too. And I also like I'll add to that, like it's always your choice too. So if there's anything that for whatever reason I didn't answer, it's
Mhm.
either because the answer's coming on its own, like directly to you in an even more powerful way, or
Yeah,
because some of the things that we did answer will then lead like to that answer. Because
yeah,
sometimes when we take like motions, we get clarity, like even more clarity on other things that don't seem related, but oddly are. Does that make sense?
absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Um, okay, this is a funny one that I wrote down, and then I have literal questions for you. I have like, you can't tell, but I have like these windows out in front of me, and it's like windows in front of, you can't see me, windows in front of windows, and there's this funny reflection, and sometimes it's like reflecting the outside. And there was like a black cat that went through the room, but it like makes the reflection look like the animal was in the room. So I just want to tell you black cat. All of that is to just say black cat. Sometimes if something like catches my attention and then I got this ping to write it down, I knew I was meant to write it down. This is going to be similar to the number 5 for me. I love black cats. It's like all the childhood magic coming back from like
Uh-huh.
I wanted a black cat growing up. We currently have more of like a gray and orange and white cat that my daughter picked out, which is totally fine with me. Um,
We have a beautiful all black long hair
oh,
cat.
I love it. You have my dream cat. I love it. That's cool. There's just something like extra magical about that.
Yeah.
And so that
You
could just be like your guide bringing that
Yep.
forward and just knowing that like your sometimes like your guides can be manifested into like a physical being. So I love that you have a black
Yeah.
cat.
Yes.
The other thing the two things that you brought up that I did want to circle back around and ask you about are asking you about the story around your mom, if you're okay telling it.
So my mom's dad, it's actually he was Grandpa Bert. Grandpa Bert was very dapper, was very classic. There's actually a set of pictures that I have in my living room, and he is dressed. He was an insurance salesman, and this was a article that was done on him because he sold life insurance to Santa Claus. And
I
so
love
he
it.
is dressed up. When you said he's very prim and proper, he's got like the old style fedora hat
Wow.
on. He's got the suit. He's got like he is very just well to do in this magazine. And I've always had it in my living room, even though he died when I was really young. I always was just like, I will look at it and be like, you are capable of anything if your grandfather could sell life insurance to an
I love
imaginary
that.
character. Um, so that being said, my mom is she is her own worst enemy. She, had a husband pass away on her. She divorced a husband because he was abusive. She does not take great care of herself. She is now retired and, just really, she's not her own best advocate.
Mm.
So there have been times when, when it comes to stuff, actually the incident of that was that she was in the hospital at the time and she was just not agreeing with anybody. And I had to basically go up and like yell at her and was
Yeah.
like, if you don't do what they tell you to do for 24 hours, I will push you out in the parking lot myself. Like I just, and so the security guard had looked at my husband and was like, oh, they're cut
Yeah.
from the same cloth, huh? um, so, you saying, hey, you're helping and hey, it is difficult with her
Mhm.
because she doesn't always want to advocate for herself or take care of herself. But then in addition to that, my stepdad, who I consider my dad, my birth father died when I was very, very young. My stepdad recently got diagnosed with a brain tumor. So we're working with that and working. I'm the only one out of all the kids in my family. We're a blended family that has any medical knowledge or anything like that. So I am his power of attorney. I am his healthcare proxy. I am all of those things. So you were very, very spot on with, hey, what's going on? Are you taking care of someone?
Yeah.
um, and that was not the plan. That definitely was not the plan. But
Yeah.
it has shown up quite recently.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job, and thank you for telling us about it. I know that's a hard change of pace too. So,
Mhm. It is. For years and years and years, I was a mom, and then I have always supported everybody else, helped and taken care of. So again, when you said you're switching roles, just in the last year, I graduated with my bachelor's, and now I'm in school for my
congratulations.
yeah, for my PhD in psychology. But then what I'm also doing, so this was spot on with what you said, is I basically am starting my own business of I guess we would say that. Um, I just believe women are so mean to themselves and women need
Yeah.
to be kinder and gentle. And we're so mean to our bodies and we do such tough things to our
Yeah.
bodies. And
Yeah.
so it's actually prior to doing this, I was putting together an outline for some products that I'm presenting and kind of coaching and helping women with. So when you were saying, oh, there's like a microphone and there's that, I'm like, oh, which that was my conversation I had downstairs was, if I'm really supposed to do this, if I'm not supposed to just put my head down, like, tell me that this is what I'm supposed to do. Tell me that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to bring this message out because I feel like I'm crazy some days, being that one person who's like, go throw your scale away, or go do this, or just eat cake, or buy a pair of
Yeah.
pants and cut the stupid tag out of them because it really
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Um, so this was far beyond any expectation that I could have had from you
Yeah.
never having met me before and not knowing anything.
Your mission sounds like what we all need. I mean, there's a lot of women that listen to this podcast, and I'm not meaning to leave anyone out, but I mean, that's something I need. That like I'm about to go
Right.
on vacation somewhere tropical, and I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. Like, when's the last
Oh,
time I went on vacation? I was like, just fucking wear the bathing suit.
yes.
Like, who
Wear the bathing
cares? Like,
suit
you're with
and
your kids and have fun.
yeah.
Yeah. And like, I just think that there's so many women that need to hear that message. And thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you for being brave enough to do even more with it. I think that's
It's
beautiful.
it's been a hard journey. 10 years ago I chose to have weight loss surgery and looking back at it now, I don't yes, I've kept weight off, but I also chose to permanently change my body
Mm,
to do what society had proposed was correct.
mhm.
And there's a lot that happens in that process. And if you're not mentally ready for that, it's very difficult. You're breaking up with your best friend. Food's been your best
Yeah.
friend your whole life. And then all of a sudden you're breaking up with it. And one of the lines I say is that, and then you suddenly realize that size small jeans do not pay the rent. Like
Yeah.
all the crap that's there is still there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I really like
And
that.
and so it really is a moment, and in those 10 years, I have thought about doing this a lot, and then I always put it on the back burner, and finally now I'm like, "You're not getting any younger, and
Yeah.
all these people want to hear this."
I
It's
uh, I
just
like exactly. Everybody wants to hear it. Like, and we do. Like, we need help with it. And maybe that's like a generational thing popping up for you and I. But I hope that the younger generations don't feel the way that we feel. Like hope that they don't see the messages that we saw growing up. But it trickles in, like it's still there. I have a 10-year-old daughter. She for sure sees things. That's like, oh my gosh, are we still there? Like, we're still doing it. But what better example than myself to help her realize that her worth is not how she physically looks. So I try to remind myself of that all the time, but it's not without all the other things. Like, you're right. It's like we're bombarded all the time. And I just applaud you so much on being a part of that and seeing that as your mission. And I ask people this, I'm sure it's been on the podcast at this point. But sometimes when we're debating, like, is this the thing that is for me? Is this the thing that I'm here to help people with? Is this part of my soul's purpose this lifetime round? You could always ask yourself, if I didn't start today, would I regret it 5 years from now?
yeah, and
Yeah,
the answer is yes,
right.
without a doubt.
Yeah. And sometimes we wish we had started earlier, but that's okay. Like, we start when we start, especially when we have the realization that we get to tell ourselves what we're here for. Like, we get to name our own purpose. And if that's the thing that is pounding at your soul and is the most interesting thing right now, then that's the thing we go for, because we would regret it 5 years from now. And any movement you make, including today, just being on this podcast, is going to help the right people, right? Someone's going to hear this and be like, oh shit, that's what I needed to hear
Yeah.
today.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Like, I get to go enjoy my life with the body that I have right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And know that we're enough just as we are.
Yeah. That's right.
Absolutely.
I love that.
This has been incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy. Thank you so, so much. Is there any place that people can follow you or reach out to you?
So there is. I am on Instagram. It's just my first name and then my last name. So AmyColozza. Um, and in there, there's, some links to goodies that I have and whatever. You'll see me,
Ooh,
you'll see my puppies because they like to be involved. Um,
I love it.
but yeah, and I just try to encourage people and really break some of those molds that we've been put into and cast into for so long.
I
It's
love that.
We have bigger and better things to worry about in the world.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Okay. Am I saying your last name right if I say Colazza?
Colazza. Yep, you got
Colazza.
you're
Okay,
good.
it's
You're
close.
good. The Italian husband. What can I say?
I love it. So everyone go follow Amy and check out her goodies at Amy Colozza on Instagram. And thank you, Amy. I can't thank you enough for sharing what it is that you do and the way that you are going to continue to share it with the world. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Amy, for coming on. Again, you guys can follow her at Amy, Colozza. And please tune in next week for another episode of House Guest. I have loved giving these research readings for the podcast. There's also going to be some conversations with people from the local Charleston community woven in there. So be on the lookout for those. If you like the podcast, please remember to like, subscribe, review, send to a friend would be the best thing you could do. My goal in the podcast is to just reach as many people as I can, whether they can book a private appointment with me or not. It doesn't make a difference as long as they listen in and get a little bit of something for themselves. And I hope that you guys did too. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great day.